everybody to ytem. We chose this day of National Aboriginal Day to do our work and our ceremony here. See, we have some young people that joined us here today. It's also part of our celebrations because we just love having all of our kids around us. We chose this geographic location because it's an important piece for our people here within Sachtamuk. Here we have our transformer stones up on the hill behind us. We have our scummel, modern scummel beside us. We have our interpretive longhouse.
This is an iconic place. The transformer stones, to start with, we understand how sacred they are, but at the same time, this is a great teaching place for all cultures to come here and learn about Aboriginal life as it was, well, over 10,000 years ago.
The archaeology tells us that our people lived here for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. They say that at one point the river level was high. Obviously we didn't have where the tracks and the trains going by right now, blocking the water. They say that water would come was right up into here, where we're at. And this is where the village was.
Today is National Aboriginal Day or Indigenous Peoples Day. And there's a recognition today of that day and honoring the elders that have assisted with all of our programming over the last number of years.
I want to thank these beautiful people for sharing with us their stories. Some of them were extremely hard to hear, and I can't imagine the strength that it took for you to share those. And so I want to say Kwasai, and I thank you so much for your sacrifice.
I'm a Métis person, but I have never felt like I didn't belong. And when I was asked if I would do this work with respect to the residential school, I can't tell you how honored I am to do that work and how generous you have been. And what you have done will be going forward for generations. It's your stories, but you've shared them. And you've shared them in a way that the younger generations will appreciate and will hold in their hearts. And I know they already do. My hands are held up to you. I'm so proud to be part of this community.
I would like to acknowledge everyone here who has helped us with this curriculum in one way or another. Nicholas Louis, thank you so much for your strength. Carolyn Schmore, you started this journey. You started these meetings. Randy Cairns. Randy, we're here today because of an idea that you had, and I raise my hands in thanks to the Creator for guiding you in your thoughts. Justin Laszlo, I must thank you for putting up with so many of my phone calls, texts, emails. I've really quite annoyed you to make today happen, but I raise my hands in thanks to you for your words, for your wisdom, for your guidance. Larry Jepson, a mentor in so many ways, a powerful, powerful man, an educator through and through. You will be accepting the gift on behalf of Jennifer Lane. She is our curriculum teacher, curriculum support teacher. And the website that we will be releasing as of today that goes live is in no small part her work. Pipta and Siamia Tiliat, there was something missing. Hulkamalum was missing. And quickly you remedied that problem. The two of you, on more than one occasion, translated all of our strange words, all of our big ideas, our curriculum documents, and then you recorded those so that when you go on the website, you will not only read Hulkamalum when you go on the main tabs, but you will hear it because we have Pipta's and Siamia Tiliat's voice. Our family here has done a great deal amount of work and have given of themselves in many different capacities, and I would like to acknowledge them here as well.
I've had the pleasure of being part of an incredible program at Mission Secondary, and I want to thank the elders for all the work they've put into the curriculum. It means a lot to me. I've had the pleasure to talk to many of the elders here and to interview Bill and Priscilla Wells about their time in residential schools. It is amazing that they're able to open up to me. And I think it's very important for them to open up to younger students so that we can't forget what happened.
I'd like to recognize our elders that were interviewed a few months ago about the residential schools. I understand that must not have been easy to share. The residential schools were a dark part of our histories that we need to recognize and fully understand it so that we can avoid repeating history. I found the strength in sharing those stories of your experiences remarkable. Not everyone would want to share the dark parts of our history, but it was so important for the younger generations to learn. I thank you for all that you have to teach us so that one day I can teach my children or the younger generations what you have taught me. The information you have is valuable about how our government and the world used to be. The two elders I interviewed had shared their experiences at residential school, and I was moved. I realized that they have gone through so much, yet they are still here today and are teaching us from their experiences.
We've come a long way. You know, we've been working on this curriculum now for a couple of years, and we've all sort of shared a little bit of our lives, including my husband, who went to a residential school in Alberta. But we've all kind of come together and just kind of poured ourselves into everything and supported each other as best we could.
I'm a survivor of residential school. I actually lived on the hill up here for 12 years at St. Mary's Indian Residential School. Sitting here having my lunch, I was watching the babies. Just having a beautiful time, having a lunch together. Sitting here with my elders. Laughter. During all them years that I was sitting in a residential school, you weren't even allowed to talk to the person across from you. To talk about the food that you were eating. The stuff that we got back then was just horrible. We commented on every little thing that we ate here today. It was beautiful. And we thank the beautiful cooks. The amount that we have accomplished that I remember in the last 2 years is pretty powerful stuff to even learn about the people that used to live here in ytem. I know for a fact down at the river here was a stopover for all of the First Nations people traveling on the Fraser River, going up towards Hope, Chilliwack, going to the west to New Westminster to shop, and even down at St. Mary's there was another stopover. That's where the first priest ever landed, to be with our people. That's when we started to lose our land, lose our culture, lose our traditions. But thanks to many elders, these cultures and traditions are now coming back to life very, very strong. To teach society something that we're calling reconciliation, about a history of our First Nations people in Canada. It has to be told, it has to be learned, including the ugliness. But there's a balance there that's more powerful than ugly. It's the beautiful way that our people used to live, like these ytem people here, all through the hills and these mountains, all through the Stolo Nation along the river, right to the mouth of the Fraser River.
Reconciliation begins with an acknowledgement of not just past wrongs, but where we are today, and where we as a broader Canadian society can go in the future through actual action, not just symbolic gestures and apologies and so on, but actually doing things to change things for the future. So for example, as a school district, this has to do with things like adding Indigenous language to the curriculum, changing our pedagogy, how we teach, and so on.
Residential school, to me, it's heavily in my blood. My dad started telling me stories when I was about 4 years old, and ever since then I've taken a keen interest into it, just trying to understand what our people did, what they went through, and where we're going. These steps that we're taking into the future are just phenomenal. Who our people are becoming after such a devastating chapter is just significant, and I'm proud of each and every one of you for being here today. And I want everyone to thank the elders for sharing their stories, because without these stories, we don't really know what our potentials can be.
We belong to the race. We belong to the human race. And we are all watching our young people right from kindergarten right up to universities. They are carrying ourselves as one. We're not separated anymore like we were in residential school. To me, this site is very, very sacred and important to our people, in particular the young people, because of the historic site that's involved here is way, way back in history, and it involves much of the culture and traditions that we've almost lost. It actually still exists here in the underground pit houses, the rock that is standing still, and the sacredness on the land itself just makes anybody that comes here feel very much stronger in their mind, body, and spirit.
This is potentially just an incredible place for not only education but for providing employment. It just has to reopen, and I hope when it does, people will think in those terms, that you need to do a little bit of commercialization out front to get people to come back here to see what the traditional and what the values of this place are to the Aboriginal people. Who wouldn't stop here?
What it means to be a survivor, the next generation of residential school, is something phenomenal, because we're the ones that are going to see what the next chapter looks like, and I see nothing but good things.
Kunsha Dr. Amashqait, Takum Shwat and Chat Ek Kunsha, Jmet Kata, Kukstim Kach, Amashqait. I just like to, my name is Agnes Giesbrecht, and I just like to say thank you to all the people that came today. It was just such a beautiful day. It was really good to see all our children here, and just thank you to the workers of Siwalsi West, School District 75, for everything what they have done for us.
To each and every one of you, happily and proud, we're still here, and it's only going to get better.